Welcome back to another segment of Buckingham Business Review. I'm your host, Bernie Wolford, founder and president of Buckingham Associates. And our video magazine deals with the intersection of strategy, people, and tactics. And we are once again pleased and excited that Craig Lesser has agreed to be with us once again on our show. And if you missed the first segment with Craig, I certainly invite you and encourage you to go back and listen to Craig and his discussion about the current firm he is with. In this segment, we're going to go up to 40,000 feet and talk about some more generic issues, tapping into Craig's experience and expertise. Craig, welcome back. And let's talk about some of the issues and variables as a foreign company wants to come into the States. They can't ignore the market. But what are some things they need to be doing, and what are some mistakes you have seen that they need to avoid to make that a successful entry into the States?
Well, you're right, Bernie. You can't avoid and you can't ignore the American market, just like many American companies now understand they can't ignore the Chinese market. The numbers are just there. But when companies are coming into the United States, first of all, I hope they look at the Southeast, because it is still the fastest growing economy among the economies in the country. And one with 60 million population in the southeastern United States makes Georgia a very likely place to land your business for distribution, for various other opportunities and investments. Certainly having an international airport here in Atlanta is a huge value for us. Some of the mistakes they make, though, coming over that I've seen from some of the companies and countries themselves is they come over here thinking they can do business here in the United States in the exact same way they were successful back home.
So there's some cultural issues.
Cultural, legal, and just very practical kinds of things. And this may sound very self-serving, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but it's very clear that if I were investing in another country, if I were going to invest in a manufacturing facility or virtually anything else where I was going to have my business located, I would hire somebody locally to help guide me through. That isn't necessarily just a lawyer. I want to have a good legal team on the ground to make sure that I'm abiding by all the local rules, regulations, laws, etc. But I also want somebody to help me, as you pointed out, with the culture, understand how to do business, the softer stuff. Most companies coming over here, not from Europe, but from Asia primarily, don't understand that you really can't just think about doing business here the way you did it back home. And so they come in and they say, this is what we're going to do, this is how we do it. And it doesn't work. And I can give you examples. We probably don't want to name too many companies, but there are examples, particularly from India and from China, that come over here and they don't seek local guidance. And it's very, very important. They get some through government, through the local government, through the state government, through the federal government. But when it really comes to uniquely your position and what you're trying to do, you really want somebody who's going to be with you on the ground full time, helping guide you through some of those cultural issues.
That sounds like so much common sense. And when a significant amount of money is being put at risk, which it often is, how can they not do it? They just think they already know. Maybe sons and daughters have attended college in the States and they've watched Western TV or something, but how can they not do that when it seems like it's a must-have?
It's remarkable. It's very simple. Many of them don't do it.
Yeah.
And so it takes them a longer time to actually become successful because they've wasted 6 months, a year doing things that they wouldn't have done had they gotten some local advice.
So it doesn't necessarily fail, but the ROI and the break-even point gets stretched out into the future farther and farther.
That's right. Now, what are they looking for when they come over? Obviously, it depends on what sector they're in, what business they're in, if they're providing a service, if they're a manufacturer, et cetera. But one thing that everybody's looking for, because it is a buyer's market, everybody on the ground is seeking investment everywhere across the country and across the world for that matter. So what they're looking for are some of the basics. They need, if their business is industrial manufacturing, they're looking for distribution opportunities. They need a railroad, they need utilities, they need logistical assistance, they need water, but they also want governments to be hospitable. They want the locality to be hospitable, but they also want workforce. And that's the significant problem that we're facing in the United States right now, is workforce preparedness, and that's especially true here in the South.
That seems to be an immediate disconnect for many in our audience. We see the high employment rate, but then workforce issues. Can you help me sort of connect or unconnect?
You have folks that come over, and we do, and I'll use Georgia as an example, we do a phenomenal job. In the last generation, we've ended up having some of the best universities and colleges, both public and private, in the world. But our K through 12 is suffering. Not everybody that's going to be recruited to work for a firm is going to need to be a college graduate. You want some people with just some basic technical skills, and sometimes that's sorely lacking.
Excellent. Well, Craig, once again, time goes quickly on our show. We are appreciative of having you with us, and I understand you will come back and do yet another segment with us, and we can learn more about you, your practice, and gain from your international experience. So once again, thank you to our audience. This is Bernie Wolford, President of Buckingham Associates, hosting Buckingham Business Review, and we hope you will come back and visit us on additional segments.